Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura ओम ज्ञानतमस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां वैष्णवेभ्यो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण विस्तरते प्रभुपाद तुभ्य श्री गिरिराज स्वामी सुरत ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण विस्तरते श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी विशेष मुखं करोति वाचालं श्री गुरु So we are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 8. We are on text Chichu. So this is how Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing love of God to anyone and everyone without consideration. But there is, whether he's offensive or inoffensive, anyone who even now chants Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. So when we chant the Hari name, there are offenses involved. So therefore we don't get the benefit. Even though we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but because we are committing offenses at the same time. And the list of offenses was enumerated in text 24. So when we do these offenses, then we don't get the result. So if we are initiated or we are chanting since a long time, if we find we are not developing any taste for reading and chanting and participating the different angas of bhakti, then we are committing offenses. So therefore we don't get the result. But when we take shelter of Shri Krishna Chaitanya, then those offenses that we are committing when we chant the holy name will gradually be overcome. like sadhu ninda. It's natural that we are so used to criticizing people in this world. When we come in the association of sadhus also, the habit doesn't go away. We always find the fault of others. Is it true? Is it true? We are so habituated to seeing people's mistakes, faults, etc., right? So even when we come in association of devotees, we only see their bad qualities. So therefore, we don't appreciate, especially like those who are like more like elder practitioners, and they still have their faults. And if we just sit and talk about them, then gradually we lose faith. Actually, we lose faith. What happened in that? When we do this sadhu in India, we just come all these Hare Krishna people, just see how they are. Just see how the temple president behaves. Just see he's the head pujari. Just see how he speaks, what he does. You know? So we keep on talking. Then what happened? We lose our enthusiasm. But so even though we have these tendencies, but if we take the name of Gauranga, then Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he enlightens us. Text 21. I'm just doing a revision so that we can catch up. So, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or the Supreme Person, Godhead himself, is fully independent. Therefore, all that is most confidentially stored, the most confidentially stored benediction, he can distribute love of Godhead to anyone and everyone without consideration. So, by the mercy of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is empowered with his mercy. So usually there will be so many qualifications, like the Gayatri Mantra. Unless you're following the principles, unless you're showing, or you're not given the Gayatri Mantra. And even if you're given the mantra, in case you stop showing the Brahminical qualities, gradually you forget the mantra also. No, you won't be able to chant it. The mantra goes away. So, but with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because everybody around is chanting, so that you can't forget the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You won't believe it, huh? When we forget the Gayatri Mantra. So, this Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when we chant his name, then our heart becomes purified and we start accepting the faults of others. And we start to value the spiritual master. And we start to gradually understand what is the holy name, and therefore we continue to chant. I don't know. I already said there's so much to say on this, but I can't give a whole seminar on it. But now we've come to text 31 says, but if one only chant with some slight faith the holy names of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, very quickly he's cleansed of all offenses. Thus, as soon as he chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he feels the ecstasy of love of Godhead. See, this is inexplicable. You know, this is actually inexplicable, you know, meaning that there is no explanation for it. Because mantra is a person. This is holy name, is a person. So when we are taking the name of Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, these personalities are present. or are they actually present with us? And then they become like an intermediary for us to approach Radha Krishna. So text 32. Swatantra Ishvara Prabhu Atyanta Udar Tanrena Bhajine Prabhu Nahai Nishtar. Yes, Shashi, you want to read?
Yes, Mataji. Just a moment. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead, is greatly magnanimous. Unless one worship him, one can never be liberated. Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur here remarks that one should not give up the worship of Radha Krishna to worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By worshipping either Radha Krishna or Lord Chaitanya alone, one cannot become advanced. One should not try to supersede the instruction of the 6 Goswamis, for they are acharyas and very dear to Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, Narottam Das Thakur sings, Rupa Raghunath Pade Hebe Akuti, Kabe Hama Bhujabe, Se Yugula Priti. One must be submissive student of 6 Goswamis, from Srila Rupa Goswami to Raghunath Das Goswami. Not following the instructions, but imagining how to worship Gaurasundara and Radha Krishna is a great offense, as a result of which one clears a path to hell. If one neglects the instruction of the 6 Goswamis and yet become a so-called devotee of Radha Krishna, he merely criticizes the real devotees of Radha Krishna. As a result of speculation, he considers Gaurasundara to be an ordinary devotee and therefore cannot make progress in serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Radha Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so here, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is saying that we should not give up the worship of Radha Krishna to worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right. Point is that we don't worship Radha Krishna alone, nor do we worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu alone. So my sampradaya is only Sri Chaitanya, so I worship only Gauranga. No. So here, Prabhupada is saying that the Goswamis, they have given the instruction. What is the instruction? Is that we worship Radha Krishna through Gaur Sundar. So we don't become only a devotee of Radha Krishna and we give up Gaur Sundar. Or we worship only Gaur Sundar and we don't worship Radha Krishna. The text 33. Ore mudhano Chaitanya Mangala Chaitanya Mahimaya Te Janabe Sakala. Indira? Indira Radha?
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Oh fools, just read Sri Chaitanya Mangala. By reading this book, you can understand all the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Purport. Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur's Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat was originally entitled Sri Chaitanya Mangala. But when Srila Lochan Das Thakur later wrote another book named Sri Chaitanya Mangal, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur changed the name of his own book, which is now therefore known as Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. The life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very elaborately described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has already informed us that in his Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita he has described whatever Vrindavan Das Thakur has not mentioned. This acceptance of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami indicates his acceptance of the disciplic succession. A writer of transcendental literature never tries to surpass the previous acharyas.
So these are all etiquette for those who are writing books. So see, everything is culture. At the end of it all, see, we are speaking philosophy and so on, but at the end of it all, meaning that what should be the outcome? The outcome should be good culture, social behavior, social interaction, what today we call interpersonal relationships. So this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is the prayojan, you could say, right? We are hearing the Sambandh from Bhagavad Gita more in Bhagavatam. But Chaitanya Charitamrita is a biography showing us that when we become devotees, how do we behave? So this is a book about behavior. So here, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, so he named his book Sri Chaitanya Mangal, but after him, just see, he didn't go and fight, I put my name, why you came second, why, you understand, that's what we would do. What is with my title? No, you didn't go and fight with him, you put my, you use my title. Change your title. Right? So, what they do, what he did, he very humbly, without hoo-ha, nothing, right? He changed the name of his book. Very instructive. He changed the name of his own book and called it Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. And now Krishnadas Kaviraj, following the etiquette, he said that Chaitanya Bhagavat, there is elaborate description of the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what did he do? He didn't repeat it. He selected those pastimes that were not described in Chaitanya Mangal or Chaitanya Bhagavat. And this is the book that we're studying right now. And Prabhupada said, among all the biographies of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he chose to translate this Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Anybody knows why? Chaitanya Mangal, there is Chaitanya Bhagavat. Now Chaitanya Bhagavat has been translated, but Prabhupada chose to translate Chaitanya Charitamrita and gave it to the world. Why? Anybody knows?
No,
Because he
I
thought
guess
that because here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami categorically says that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is just not about his life. He also gives tattva, he also gives logical explanations to prove that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah, and because, a lot of philosophy.
Mataji,
but Vrindavan Das also does that in Bhagavat.
Yeah, but Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a lot of philosophical
More
points.
deep, yeah.
Yeah, so therefore
More
Srila
tattva.
Yes, so therefore Srila Prabhupada, he chose to translate Chaitanya Charitamrita. Just see how this first volume was so much about philosophy, right? Now, after gradually we'll get more into stories, the lila. But here, so much philosophy. A writer of transcendental literature never tries to surpass the previous acharyas. Text 34. Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kahe Ved Vyas Chaitanya Lila Ravyas Vrindavana Das. As Vyasadeva has compiled all the pasam of Lord Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam, Thakur Vrindavan Das has depicted the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Vrindavana Das Kaila Chaitanya Mangala Yanhara Shravane Nase Sarva Amangala. Thakur Vrindavan Das has composed Sri Chaitanya Mangala. Hearing this book annihilates all misfortune. 36. Okay, Anupama Madhuri, you want to read?
Hare Krishna, done with pranam. Text 36. Chaitanya Nitayera Yata Janiye Mahima Yata Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhante Rasima. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Translation. By reading Sri Chaitanya Mangal, one can understand all the glories and truths of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda and come to the ultimate conclusion of devotional service to Lord Krishna. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam is the authoritative reference book from which to understand devotional service. But because it is very elaborate, few men can understand its purport. Srimad Bhagavatam is the original commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, which is called Nyaya Prasthan. It was written to enable one to understand the absolute truth through infallible logic and argument, and therefore its natural commentary. Srimad Bhagavatam is extremely elaborate. Professional reciters have created the impression that Srimad Bhagavatam deals only with Krishna Rasa Leela, although Krishna's Rasa Leela is described only in chapters 29 through 33 of the 10th canto. They have in this way presented Krishna to the Western world as a great woman hunter, and therefore we sometimes have to deal with such misconceptions in preaching. Another difficulty in understanding Srimad Bhagavatam is that the professional reciters have introduced Bhagavat Saptah, or a 7-day readings of the Bhagavatam. They want to finish Srimad Bhagavatam in a week, although it is so sublime that even one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, if properly explained, cannot be completed in 3 months. Under these circumstances, it's a great aid for the common man to read Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's Chaitanya Bhagavat, for thus he can actually understand devotional service. Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, and Nityananda. Srila Rupa Goswami has said, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrim Vidin Vina Ekantika Harer Bhakti Utpateva Kalpate. Devotional service to the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures, the Upanishads, Puranas, Narad, Pancharatra, etc., is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. Due to misunderstanding Srimad Bhagavatam, people are misled regarding the science of Krishna. However, by reading Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's book, one can very easily understand this science. Hare Krishna.
Text 37. Bhagavate yata bhakti siddhante rasa likhiya chena inha jani pariya udhar. In Sri Chaitanya Mangal, later known as Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has given the conclusion and essence of devotional service by quoting the authoritative statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 38. Chaitanya Mangala Shune Yadi Pashandi Yavan Sneha Seha Mahavaishnava Hai Tatakshan. If even a great atheist hears Sri Chaitanya Mangal, he immediately becomes a great devotee. Text 39. Manushya Rachite Ma Nare Eche Grantha Dhanya Vrindavana Das Mukhe Vakta Shri Chaitanya. So, who wants to read Anupama Mishra?
Hare Krishna. Translation. The subject matter of this book is so sublime that it appears that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally spoken through the writings of Sri Vrindavana Das Thakur. Purport. Srila Sanatan Goswami has written in his Hari Bhakti Vilas, Avina Avaishnava Mukho Girnam Putam Hari Kathamritam Shravanam Naiv Kartavyam Sarpochistham Yatha Payah. One should not hear anything about Krishna from a non-Vaishnava. Milk touched by the lips of a serpent has poisonous effects. Similarly, talks about Krishna given by a non-Vaishnava are also poisonous. Transcendental literature that strictly follows the Vedic principles and the conclusion of the Puranas and Pancharatrika Vidhi can be written only by a pure devotee. It is not possible for a common man to write books on bhakti, for his writings will not be effective. He may be a very great scholar and may be expert in presenting literature in flowery language, but this is not at all helpful in understanding transcendental literature. Even if transcendental literature is written in faulty language, it is acceptable if it is written by a devotee, whereas so-called transcendental literature written by a mundane scholar, even if it is a very highly polished literary presentation, cannot be accepted. The secret in a devotee's writing is that when he writes about the pastimes of the Lord helps him. He does not write alone. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tamam Yena Mama Upayanti Te. Since a devotee writes in service to the Lord from within gives him so much intelligence that he sits down near the Lord and goes on writing books. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami confirms that what Vrindavan Das Thakur wrote was actually spoken by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he simply repeated it. The same holds for Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in his old age, in an invalid condition, but it is such a sublime literature that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj used to say, the time will come when the people of the world will learn Bengali to read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are trying to present Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in English and do not know how successful it will be. But if one reads the original Chaitanya Charitamrita in Bengali, he will relish increasing ecstasy in devotional service.
Devotee, I think that's you, right? You read Bengali. Right? Are you reading the Bengali? Are you able to?
Mataji, I only read the transliteration. I cannot read Bengali, though I understand it very well.
Okay, so the original, you're able to read and understand?
There was one book which I had received long back when I was in US in Bengali from a devotee. It was a red book of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Well, but I have left it behind. I don't have it anymore.
Anyway, it's right here. It's right here. Manushya Rachite Nare Aiti. Grantha Dunya. Vrindavana Das Mukhe Vakta Shri Chaitanya. Do you understand what it means? With Prabhupada is saying that
Manushya Rachite Nare Aiti Grantha Danya. That there is no other granth as glorious as this. I mean, I can understand it when I'm reading it like that. I don't really need to read the English translation to understand this. I'm understanding it perfectly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, I can. Yes.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is saying that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj said, the time will come when the people of the world will learn Bengali to read Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Srila Prabhupada is saying he has given a translation, but he doesn't know how proper the translation is. But to read the book in the original Bengali, there'll be so much more, it's more relishable. But here, the point that is being made here, see, meaning that philosophy has to be received in disciplic succession. And when you sit down to write, I remember one time I had to write, because I used to write the articles in Mauritius, I used to write the articles for a magazine, And then one day my Guru he told me I have to write for Janmashtami, the message for Janmashtami. So I didn't know. So I just took pen, paper, and I started writing, I just wrote one after the other, paragraph. And then, to my great surprise, when I opened Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 7, 8, the only section, I saw that I have rewritten the purport. So what happened? Then I understood that because we learn, right? We learn the philosophy and we've heard it so much. So if you're used to writing, then you just write paragraph after paragraph. So meaning that I didn't write it. Who wrote?
The Lord from within.
Well, I'm explaining how the Lord from
Sure,
within, I'm explaining in the practical terms. Yeah, because he taught us, right?
Sure,
He taught us, and then my Guru Maharaj taught me, and so many others taught me. So many lectures you go on hearing, meaning the entire disciplic succession, bombarding it, putting in your ear how things happen. So when you take pen and paper, what do you write? You write the words of the disciplic succession. All right. So this is how. The subject matter of this book is so sublime that it appears that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally spoken through the writings of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur, meaning that Vrindavan Das Thakur has completely imbued the mood, understanding, the sambandha, avidya, the prayojan, everything he has imbued from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his, because Vrindavan Das Thakur is just little bit after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, meaning the Goswamis, everything, whatever they have learned, he got from all of them. And when he sat down and when he wrote the book, it's as if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is speaking, is narrating. I've just given you my own example, like how it happened. So it's very much true. It's very much true. And here Prabhupada is given. So number one, first point is that we should not hear any Vedic literature from unauthorized people. Like in the previous verse, Prabhupada said, not from professional reciters. What do? They squash everything in 1 week. They call it Bhagavad Saptah. And so they throw out everything else and they only focus on the 5 chapters of Ras Lila. And they make people believe that this is Bhagavad. And the whole world, so Prabhupada saying that it gets propagated that Krishna is a woman hunter. All right. So they don't teach, actually from first canto. People, who's interested? Everybody knows this. When you start speaking Bhagavatam, so many people get up and go away. Right? Because Bhagavatam is giving so many instructions that we don't like to hear. Right? But to describe the Ras Leela, this is very sweet and rasa. So people like to hear a movie, a love story, and illicit relationship going on. So they're very nice, happily sitting and listening how Krishna is a debauchee, right? He's calling other people's wives. So they don't want to hear about the other, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Bali Maharaj.
Actually, I preached to somebody, and that person attended these Srimad Bhagavatam Saptas. And
Mm.
now the devotional service is gone.
Mm.
I've actually seen it.
Yeah, they get contaminated, right? So here it said that Srila Sanatan Goswami has written in his Hari Bhakti Vilas. See, in Science of Self-Realization, Prabhupada quotes this, that this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra should be received from the lips of a pure devotee and not from an Vaishnava. So here Prabhupada has given the Sanskrit. Avaishnava Mukhod Girnam. Avaishnava Mukhod. The words from the mouth of an Avaishnava. Uttam Hari Kathamritam contaminates this Hari Katha. Hari Katha is Amrita, but it contaminates. How Shravana Naiva Kartavya Sarko Chistam Yakopayaha. It's exactly as if you're drinking milk. You are drinking milk that has been touched by the lips of a serpent. So meaning it's become poisonous. So we should know where this is written here. Just make a note in your book. And the Sanskrit is given here. Avaishnava Mukhodgirnam Uttam Hari Kathamritam Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Karpochishtam Yatha Payaha. So, transcendental literature that strictly follows the Vedic principles and the conclusion of the Puranas and Pancharatmika can be written only by a pure devotee. So this transcendental literature, just like I said, like I wrote down, my Guru Maharaj told me, write an article, on for Janmashtami. So what did I do? I wrote everything. And then I opened Prabhupada's book, verbatim, practically verbatim. So this literature, and I remember how, my Guru was saying, when we sit in Bhagavatam class, all of us, we will have a notebook, and we'll be taking notes. And this notebook, make sure it doesn't go on the floor. Why shouldn't it go on the floor? Because it's the same as the Bhagavatam. This is how we were trained. This is how we respected each and everything. He may be a very great scholar and may be expert in presenting literature in flowery language. So, see, when we are scholars, like you have to write a thesis. Let's say you want to do, a PhD in philosophy, or Sanskrit language, or history, Indian history, right? You're writing. So what will you do? You will go here and there. You will, browse this book, that book, and then you will make up you write your own book, your own thesis, right? But from whom are you learning? From whom are you learning? Like the way Prabhupada wrote, the way he explained Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, none of those PhD, who are writing their papers, they will not take Prabhupada's book. Why? Because it's such a shocking contrast with what they learn in their own school. Why? Because what they've been taught is all stuff that's been given by Indologists. Indologists, they try to capture the Indian intelligentsia by rewriting Bhagavad Gita, interpreting everything, and then they teach it to the Indians. Very typical. Anyway, we don't like to speak politics, but this is Just like what did they do? They took cotton from India, they took it to to Britain, to England, then they sell it back to the Indians at a very high rate. Right?
Mataji, Srila Prabhupada, he stopped Srimad Bhagavatam writing and he started writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why did he do that way? Like he wrote three cantos.
Yeah, he came to fifth canto. He came to fifth canto, and that still had to be published. And then he decided to do, I've forgotten the exact story, how he decided to do Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he completed Chaitanya Charitamrita, then he continued with the Bhagavatam. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So he did 4 cantos, he completed till 9, and then he did till chapter 13 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, this is all history, but you should know there is so much tussle, huge tussle about all this.
Mataji,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
That you said that it's written that we should not accept the Hare Krishna Mahamantra from a non-Vaishnav. What does that mean?
Yeah, a Vaishnava Mukha, the scholars, right? Because they don't know, one should not hear anything about Krishna from a non-Vaishnava. Milk touched from the lips of a serpent has poisonous effects. Similarly, talks about Krishna given by a non-Vaishnava are also poisonous. So they will give you, like, it's horrible. As soon as I go on YouTube, immediately, I don't know whether I should play this for you. Immediately there is an advertisement that comes. It's horrific. I'll just play it for you. You just hear. It's very beautiful, right? Very beautiful. Do you know what they are doing? I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is. Who's doing this? He's doing this. Every festival, every vrat, every ekadashi, they're putting out some advertisement. You have Kalsar dosh, you have this dosh, that dosh. You do your puja through us. I don't know who's doing this. And they know that people are religious. So they're pushing, you're born in the Jeshta, you're born in the this, that, we will do the puja for you. We've got, I don't know how many lakh pandits under us. What are they doing? And that started only since 1 month or so, I'm seeing this. Now, what they are doing, Rath Yatra is coming, they've caught Rath Yatra. Now they're putting the picture of Jagannath and they're advertising their own. They should be fired, right? How dare they do this? This is all Vaishnava Mukhad Girnam Put. I mean, that's how people lose faith in Krishna consciousness. And all these charlatans, they come, these crooks. They use all the vrat, all the fictions. They use it to make money. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra also, they will say, yes, you chant Hare Krishna and you'll get free from your disease. You chant Hare Krishna and all your problem will get solved. Actually, there are a lot of astrological thing on YouTube. Lots. Suddenly started flooding all this YouTube. But not a single one of them say you worship Krishna and your problem will get solved. By good luck. By good luck, none of these people are sufficiently, they're not selling chant Hare Krishna. Not a single one of them dared to do it. Right? You worship Durga, you worship Ganesh, you do this, you do that. You can even chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, you can do this, but nobody has to chant Hare Krishna. Lucky. Prabhupada is standing there with a mantra protector, right? A protector of dharma, of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So during that Bhagavad Katha, they will say, yes, chant Hare Krishna. They will chant Hare Krishna, right? You will chant Hare Krishna, you'll get free from all your problems, all your material problems. You live ever happily after. This dosh, that dosh will go away. Then after that, you again continue to enjoy life. So we don't speak like this. Yes, Kleshagni, when you practice devotional service, one of the characteristics of devotional service, purely practice is Kleshagni. It is relief from miseries. Second, it is Sudurlabha. So not Sudurlabha. Shubhada. Shubhda. It gives auspiciousness. It makes your life happy, right? Shubh. Auspicious. These are the first two characteristics of pure devotional service, purely practice, meaning lakshan, that you are doing devotional service properly. But Prabhupada didn't go out and propagate, yes, you chant Hare Krishna, you will become, free from misery, your headache will go away, your cancer will go away, then you become wealthy. These are byproducts. Prabhupada emphasized on only one point, become a lover of Krishna. Do you know how miserable it is if Prabhupada would have sold us a product saying that you will become free from material diseases, you become free from you will become a scholar, everybody will like you, you get good reputation, etc., etc. And then as you start to go through life, gradually you see you're rising and then you fall down. What will happen to you? You'll hate Krishna, right? Whereas, when you go steadily through sadhana bhakti, gradually you start to see the world for what it is. It is a place of misery. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. It's a place, and Kali Yuga is a place of cheaters and cheated. Right? It's a place where people rise and they fall. It's a place of liars. I just heard this morning, one devotee was giving Bhagavatam class. He said that he took, I don't know, his disciple or whoever, whatever, he took them to Govardhan. And he says, you make the vow, you will never speak a lie in your life. Meaning people are so accustomed to lying. It's natural for them to speak lies. Right? So, when you stop and you think and you look, you'll be so disappointed with the world. You'll be so disappointed with even, even the society of devotee. You'll be so disappointed. And what will you do? You'll give up Krishna consciousness. Whereas, if Prabhupada is saying this material world is full of misery. Dukhalayam ashasvatam. The best thing is get out completely. And Prabhupada is saying, develop your relationship with Krishna. And this beautiful verse is saying, the subject matter of this book is so sublime that it appears that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally spoken through the writings of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. And Prabhupada in the purport is saying that it's when the Goswamis are writing, and Prabhupada himself said, when he's writing the book, Krishna is sitting with him and he's simply writing, right? Meaning, when you experience the presence of Krishna, then you can let go of this horrible material world. Then you can tolerate and accept that this is what the material world is all about. Whereas previously you were trying to change this material world and make everybody become perfect like you, right? and then you start hating yourself. Why is it I'm not perfect? Why do I do this? Why do I shout? Am I greedy? Why am I, eating too much? Whatever, right? You start hating yourself. What do you do? Right? Whereas shifting our attention to Krishna, Prabhupada makes sure that you stay afloat in this material world with a promise. If you follow sadhana and bhakti, you will go back home, back to Godhead. I said a lot. said a lot. I don't know whether we're able to follow this.
Mataji, in the
Yeah.
last class, it was all discussed. I didn't attend it. I heard your recording. It was discussed that that if we still, we are not able to, the tears are not coming and we are not in ecstasy while chanting, that means we are having offenses, right? That was
Yeah.
being. So I still don't have it, Mataji. So what am I supposed to do?
Yes. So therefore we continue, right? We continue. It's not something that happens overnight. But, just like somehow one devotee posted on our group, pictures of Radha Ras Bihari. I'll just send you. I think you'll have sent it in your group, I'll just send it in your group. Where is it? Mail. And I just, her remark. See, we're not pure devotees, but, okay. So she sent this. Right, Shikala, you're on that group, right? She sent this picture. I'm putting on your group now. All right. It's on your group now.
On phone, I will see afterwards, Mataji.
Smita Mataji had sent in some group.
Yes, Smita. Yeah, Smita has sent this. All right. She sent this collage of Radha Ras Bihari. All right.
Yes, I saw it. Yes.
And then I sent her this one. All right, I sent this one. And what did she write? What's her remark? That's her remark. All right. We can't say that we are pure devotees, right? But, but when we are saying But when we are saying the beauty of Krishna, right, we are appreciating, right? Like sometimes I sit in this lobby and you don't know who you're sitting next to. And so it happened a number of times when some ladies telling me that, oh, they grew up with Radha Ras Bihari, so they lived here in Juhu. So they grew up and then they got married and they went here. But he said, they are his, right? So they are coming back. They're coming back. They are his.
Like Mataji, in one of the purports in Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada writes that only when one person is saturated in Krishna consciousness can he understand the, the reality, or rather the glory of the holy name. Saturated. This is the word.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm just giving you an example. I'm just giving you the example of how the devotees can completely smitten what she wrote. This charmer. This charmer, what she wrote. Super awesome, all attractive, no doubt whoever saw Krishna was smitten by the charmer. Like me included. Can there ever be more beautiful than the Lord? Can anyone ever be more beautiful than the Lord? Right? So what she's writing. Smita. And she's sitting very far away. She's not even coming for the classes now. She got busy. All right. Household work. Grandchildren have come. Household work. Let's see where her mind is. Right? Okay, let's read this last. Text 40. Vrindavana das pare koti namaskar. Aiche granta kari tenho tarila samsar. I offer millions of obeisances unto the lotus feet of Vrindavan Das Thakur. No one else could write such a wonderful book for the deliverance of all fallen souls. Stop here and we'll continue next week. Let's go to Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.